A good day to my loving kids. Hope you all doing good. In today's lesson, you are going to learn about networking concepts. This is the first chapter of your reading book, page number 1 to 7. Here, I have mentioned the content that we are going to learn from this video. First, we are going to learn about the need for computer networks and types of computer networks. And we are going to discuss about different network topologies. Finally, we are going to learn about transmission media. Okay, our first topic is what is a computer network? Children, have you ever heard the term computer network? Yes, you may definitely heard that term. Computer networks are the basics of communication in the ICT. It has brought people together. They are used in a huge variety of ways and it can include many different types of network. The internet is a very common example of a computer network that spreads all across the world. The internet is also referred to as the worldwide network of computers and it is always growing at a rapid rate. Actually, what is a computer network? A computer network consists of two or more computers that are linked in order to share resources such as printers, exchange files, and allow communication. The main purpose of computer networking is the sharing. Let's see what are the needs for computer networks. In this section, we are going to learn about the need for computer networks. Nowadays, computer networks play a major role of any kind of organization. Here we are going to discuss about few needs of computer networks. Let's see the first one, resource sharing. Actually, as I told earlier, the main purpose of computer networking is the sharing. It allows us to share mainly three things. What are they? Data, resources, and applications. When it comes to resource sharing, networking allows us to share devices among the computers. By sharing the devices, we can reduce the number of required components in the network. See whether you can understand the difference between these two, right? Before networking and after networking. Let's understand this with a simple example. Assume that 4 computers are used in a small office. Computers are not connected with others, right? Each computer generates some printing jobs daily. To fulfill this requirement of each computer without networking, we have to buy 4 printers, one for each. So, by connecting these computers through networking, we can reduce the required number of printers up to 1. Once networking is done, only one printer will be sufficient to meet the printing requirement of all computers. I hope that you can understand this scenario by looking at these two pictures. The next point is file sharing and remote database access. A computer network allows sharing of file and access to remote database. We can easily access the data files stored on various computers on a network. Networking allows many people to work simultaneously on the data in a database. Let's take a simple example. Suppose that there are 2 computers which exchange data on a regular basis. Without networking, we have to follow several steps to exchange data between them. Here also you can see two diagrams, before networking and after networking. Please look at this diagram carefully, right? Here, before networking, we have to write data in external devices such as CD, DVD and USB. Then we have to move that external device to the receiver PC. Then again receiver have to read and copy that data from external device. If the data is exchanged 100 times a day, what will happen? We have to follow these steps 100 times a day. So in this case, networking is a better solution. Once networking is done, we can easily exchange any amount of data between connected devices at any time without using any external device. The other important need for computer networks is ease of communication. Computer networks allow people to communicate through emails and instant messaging facilities. You also using instant messaging facilities, isn't it? Yes, we all are using different kind of instant messaging facilities in our day-to-day life to communicate with other people. This makes the transmission of information easier, more efficient and less expensive. Now we are going to discuss about different types of computer networks. These networks are based on the geographical area covered or scale of the network. The first network type that we are going to discuss is personal area network. In short term, we called it as PAN. Personal area network is a network arranged within an individual person, typically within a range of 10 meters. It is used for communication between devices such as phones, printers, laptops that are in the close proximity. Personal area network usually covers an area of 30 feet. We can use personal area networks to transfer files between various devices also. Next one is local area network. In short term, we call it as LAN. Local area network is a group of computers connected to each other in a small area such as building or an office. Local area network is used for connecting two or more personal computers through a communication medium such as twisted pair, coaxial cable, etc. It is less expensive as it is built with inexpensive hardware such as hubs, network adapters and Ethernet cables. Data is transferred at an extremely faster rate in local area network. Local area network provides higher security. Now we are going to discuss about campus area network. A campus area network is a network of multiple interconnected local area networks in a limited geographical area. A campus area network is smaller than a wide area network or metropolitan area network. It can be set up in a college, university or a company. These campus area networks are cost effective. Our next topic is metropolitan area network. A metropolitan area network is a network that covers a large geographic area by interconnecting different local area networks to form a larger network. Government agencies use metropolitan area network to connect the citizens and private industries. It has a higher range than local area network. The next topic that I have for you here is wide area network. A wide area network is a network that extends over a large geographical area such as states or countries. A wide area network is quite bigger network than local area network. A wide area network is not limited to a single location, but it spans over a large geographical area through a telephone line, fiber optic cable, or satellite link. It is formed by connecting local area networks and metropolitan area networks. The internet is the one of biggest wide area network in the world. A wide area network is widely used in the field of business, government, and education. Now we are moving to our next main topic, network topologies. In this section, we are going to discuss about different types of network topologies such as star topology, bus topology, ring topology, and mesh topology. Okay, my dear kids, before we discuss about network topologies, we need to understand some basic concepts regarding network topologies. Here the first one is, what is a topology? What do you mean by a topology? Topology defines the structure of the network of how all the components are interconnected to each other. Then what are nodes? Nodes are the computers on the network. That means individual components on the network. So with this knowledge, let's discuss about different network topologies. Bus topology is the first topology type that we are going to discuss. The bus topology is designed in such a way that all the computers are connected through a single cable known as bus. The transmission of data from any computer travels through the length of the bus in both the directions, and it can be received by all the other computers on the network. When we are sending a message through this network, if the address of a computer is that of the intended receiver, it accepts the data. Otherwise, the data is rejected. The configuration process of a bus topology is simple as compared to other topologies. We can identify some disadvantages also. The main disadvantage is if there are breaks in the bus, the whole network cannot function because all the nodes are connected to a one single cable. The second topology type is ring topology. I'm sure that you can get a simple idea about that by looking at this figure. In ring topology, each computer is connected to two other computers so as to form a close ring-like structure. In this topology, data is transmitted in one direction only. The node that receives the message from the previous computer will retransmit to the next node. In the ring topology, data is transmitted in one direction only. The node that receives the message from the previous computer will retransmit to the next node. Some advantages of ring topology are easy to install and reconfigure, reliable, and less expensive. Here also we can identify disadvantage, that is one breakdown of any computer or else one breakdown of any node can disable the entire network. Now we are moving into star topology. Star topology is an arrangement of the network in which all the computers are connected to a central computer or central node. Star topology is the most popular topology in network implementation. The data to be exchanged between any two computers passes through the central node. Usually, we call that central node as the server. The central node controls all the activities of the nodes. We can easily expand the star topology and its performance is high. Here also we can mention a disadvantage, that is the failure of the central node can disable the entire network because all the nodes are controlled by the central node. Our final topology type is mesh topology. Mesh topology is an arrangement of the network in which computers are interconnected with each other through various redundant connections. There are multiple paths from one computer to another computer. The internet is an example of the mesh topology. Usually, mesh topology is mainly used for wireless networks. We can divide mesh topology into two categories. First one is full mesh. The second category is partial mesh. It is easy to expand mesh topology because adding new devices would not disrupt the communication between other devices, and the communication is very fast between the nodes. Mesh topology is very expensive. It can be considered as a disadvantage because a mesh topology contains a large number of connected devices such as a router and more transmission media than other topologies. Okay, dear children, this is the last main topic that we are going to discuss in this video. Transmission media. Computers must be connected to each other to form a network. Computers can be connected using wires or cables, or they can be connected in a wireless manner. Actually, a transmission media is a communication channel that carries the information from the sender to the receiver. Data is transmitted through the electromagnetic signals. We can classify transmission media into two categories. They are wired transmission media and wireless transmission media. First, we are going to discuss about wired transmission media. Under that, we are going to learn about twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, and optical fiber cable. Twisted pair cable. Have you seen this cable before? Yes, you may have seen. Can you remember your router at home or else your broadband telephone line? How they have connected? Yes, they have connected with the twisted pair cable. It consists of a pair of insulated wires twisted together. Two wires twisted around each other helps to reduce disturbances in the signals. We can identify two types of twisted pair cable as shielded twisted pair and unshielded twisted pair. Here our next topic is coaxial cable. Coaxial cable is very commonly used transmission media. For example, TV wire is usually a coaxial cable. The name of the cable is coaxial as it contains two conductors parallel to each other. It has a higher frequency as compared to twisted pair cable. You can see in the picture the inner conductor of the coaxial cable is made up of copper and the outer conductor is made up of copper mesh. Optical fiber cable is very important and commonly used type of wired transmission media. It uses electrical signals for communication. Fiber optics provide faster data transmission than other transmission media. Fiber optic cables can transmit signals over much longer distances. Nowadays, people tend to use fiber optic cables because of its greater bandwidth and the reliability. Children, this is the other category of transmission media, wireless transmission media. Under this topic, we are going to discuss about infrared, microwave transmission, radio wave transmission, Bluetooth technology, Wi-Fi technology and WiMAX. The first example is infrared. Infrared is electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths longer than those of visible light. It is therefore generally invisible to human eye. These waves cannot penetrate walls or other obstructions. You can easily find a good example from your home, that is TV remote operation. Now we are going to learn about microwave transmission. Microwave communications are unidirectional. They can be used for terrestrial communication or for satellite communication. Microwave propagation is line of sight communication. Microwaves can pass through the Earth's atmosphere easily and can be used to transmit information between satellites and Earth's base station. The next topic is radio wave transmission. Radio waves are the electromagnetic waves that are transmitted in all the directions of free space. The signals are propagated in all the directions. The range in the frequencies of radio waves is high. Radio waves are easy to generate. They can travel long distance and penetrate through buildings easily. Microwaves commonly used for both indoor and outdoor communication. Okay, I'm sure that you are familiar with this technology. What is this? Bluetooth technology. Bluetooth is used for exchanging data over short distances using radio waves. This technology uses low power and has a short range. It has medium transmission speed. Bluetooth technology can be used to transfer songs or pictures between two mobile phones. Further, we can use Bluetooth headset with a mobile phone. This is another familiar technology for you. You all have heard this term. Wi-Fi technology. Wi-Fi technology also makes use of radio waves to transmit and receive data. This technology requires more energy but enables the signal to go farther. Here, the computer's wireless adapter translates the data into a radio signal and transmits it. A wireless router receives the signal and decodes it and sends it to the internet using a wired connection. The final wireless transmission media is WiMAX. This is very similar to Wi-Fi, but it operates at higher speeds and can over greater distances and greater number of users as compared to Wi-Fi. Okay children, here we have come to the end of the video. As you can see, I have given some questions from the content that we have learned from this video. You can write answers in your writing book. And also you can read your textbook for further information. This is the summary of what we have learned. At the very beginning of the video, we have learned about need for computer networks, and then we learned about types of computer networks. After that, we have discussed about different network topologies like star topology, bus topology, ring topology, and mesh topology. Finally, we went through transmission media. We classified transmission media into two categories like wireless transmission media and wired transmission media. Under those categories, we have discussed different types of transmission media. My dear kids, I hope that you all understood the lesson well. So I will meet you again with a new video soon. Till then, goodbye. Have a nice day.